What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Weird Al Yankovic. Yes, indeed, Weird Al Yankovic fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Brett Parks, and Brett wanted to see me react to this song by Weird Al Yankovic called Albuquerque.
I knew I should have taken that lift to Albuquerque.
Only Weird Al Yankovic could ever possibly write a song about Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is what I'm assuming the song is about.
Not quite.
Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if this is an original song that he wrote or this is one of his parody songs. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we'll have to find out here. It'll be interesting. I'm trying to think of songs that rhyme with Albuquerque and, for like a parody purpose. And I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how the tides take us on this one. Let's see. This was posted by R. Wappin. All one word. Yes, indeed. There you go. And the video has 6.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Weird Al Yankovic, Albuquerque, the movie. Yikes. 11:22. That would be a short film, wouldn't it? Never thought I'd see the day we'd have a Weird Al song that's 11 minutes and 22 seconds. Then again, it does say the movie. I don't know what to expect here. Listen, I'm just reacting to what I was asked to react to. That's it. That's all there is to it. I just hope this is entertaining. I mean, it's Weird Al. I have a good feeling, but I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Way back when I was just a little bitty boy, living in a box under the stairs in the corner of the basement of the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyway, back then life was going swell and everything was just peachy! Except, of course, for the undeniable fact that every single morning, my mother would make me a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. Big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning! It was driving me crazy! I said to my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, what's up with all the sauerkraut?" And my dear sweet mother, she just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. And she leaned right down next to me. And she said, "It's good for you!" And then she tied me to the wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and force-fed me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. That's when I swore that someday I would get out of that basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the sun is always shining and the air smells like warm root beer and the towels are oh so fluffy. Where the Shriners and the lepers play their ukuleles all day long and anyone on the street street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Waka waka doo doo, yeah. Well, let me tell you, people, it wasn't long at all before.
I can actually, I can actually feel my brain cells, the few that I have left. I can actually feel my brain cells literally committing suicide one by one. What did he say right there at the end? What did he say?
And the lepers play their ukuleles all day long, and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Waka waka doo doo, yeah.
Waka waka doo doo, yeah. Boy, that's deep. That is deep, man. That absolutely touches my soul in ways that nobody should ever touch it. I will say the animation style is kind of cool. I like the animation style. Very Nickelodeon-ish. Yeah. There's that. Oh, how much longer? How much longer? Oh my God. We are only a minute in, and we got another 10 minutes of this. Strap in, folks. It's gonna be a ride.
Well, let me tell you, people, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true. Because the very next day, a local radio station had this contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in Leonard Nimoy's butt. I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's
What?
right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Oh, yeah. You know, I've never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really great. Except that I had to sit between 2 large Albanian women with excruciatingly severe body odor, and the little kid in back of me kept throwing up the whole time. The flight attendants ran out of Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts, and the in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore, and oh yeah, the airplane engines burned out. We went into a tailspin and crashed into a hillside, and the plane exploded in a giant fireball, and everybody died.
But other than that, the flight was great. Yeah.
Except
Waka
for me.
waka.
You know why? Cause I have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. Have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. Have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. So I crawled from the twisted burning wreckage. I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days.
Oh yeah, the bowling
Dragging
ball.
along
Very
a big leather
necessary.
suitcase and my garment bag and my tenor saxophone and my 12-pound bowling ball and my lucky autographed glow-in-the-dark snorkel. But finally I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn where the towels are oh so fluffy and you can eat your soup right out of the ashtrays if you wanna. It's okay, they're clean. Well, I checked into my room and I turned down the AC and I turned on the Spectrovision and I'm just about to eat that little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much when suddenly there's a knock on the door. Well, now who could that be? I say, who is it? No answer. Who is it? There's no answer. Who is it? They're not saying anything. So finally I go over and I open the door and just as I suspected, it's some big fat hermaphrodite with a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. So anyway, he burst.
How can you hate it when you're right? How it's a what?
Suspected, it's some big fat hermaphrodite with a flock.
Some big fat hermaphrodite
A seagull's haircut and only one nostril.
with a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. How could you have possibly guessed all of that from a knock at the door?
Oh man, I hate it when I'm right.
Ugh.
So anyway, he burst into my room and he grabbed my lucky snorkel and I'm like, hey, you can't have that. That's snorkel's been just like a snorkel to me. And he's like, tough. And I'm like, give it. And he's like, make me. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed his leg and he grabbed my esophagus and I bit off his ear and he chewed off my eyebrows and I took out his appendix and he gave me a colonic irrigation. Yes, indeed, you better believe it. And somehow in the middle of it all, the phone got knocked off the hook. And 20 seconds later, I heard a familiar voice. And you know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. In Albuquerque. Well, to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel. But I made a solemn vow right then and there that I would not rest. I would not sleep for an instant until the one-nostriled man was brought to justice. But first I decided to buy some donuts. So I got in my car and I drove over to the donut shop and I walked on up to the guy behind the counter and he says, yeah, what do you want? I said, you got any glazed donuts?
For those of you who suffer from ADHD, this is going to be sounding really good to you right about now. I'm sure this is just up at the top of your charts, boy. It's going in so many different directions, and it's changing those directions every 5 to 10 seconds. Started out going to just wanting to get out of his hometown. I get that part. Going to Albuquerque. Why? Okay. Staying at a Holiday Inn. Why? Oh, don't forget the plane crash. That's important. Oh God. Again, I can actually feel myself getting dumber with every passing second. I know there's going to be people in the comments getting dumber. I didn't think that was possible. You're blocked.
Block! Block!
I will say the music, the music aspect of this, the instrumentational part of this, I will say that's catchy. There's definitely some catchy riffs in there, but oh God, I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. I really don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to push play. I really don't. This is not a good time. I would rather, seriously, I think I'd rather go into our guest bathroom and watch the paint dry. I think that might be more entertaining. At least, okay, I'm still going to lose brain cells in there. You know, the paint fumes are going to kill brain cells. Yes, but at least there will be a reason for it. There will be a reason that those brain cells are dying. Not just from sheer stupidity. God.
He said, no, we're out of glazed donuts. I said, well, you got any jelly donuts? He said, no, we're out of jelly donuts. I said, you got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts? He said, no, we're out of Bavarian cream-filled donuts. I said, you got any cinnamon rolls? He said, no, we're out of cinnamon rolls. I said, you got any apple fritters? He said, no, we're out of apple fritters. I said, you got any bear claws? He said, wait a minute, I'll go check.
Of course, it's bear claws.
No, we're out of bear claws.
Shot.
I said, well, in that case, what do you have? He says, all I got right now is this box of 12 starving, crazed weasels. I said, okay, I'll take that. So he hands me the box.
No donuts, but he's got a box of rabid, crazed weasels. 12 of them. That makes perfect sense. Look, where else would you possibly get a box of 12 rabid, crazed weasels? where else would you get them other than a donut shop? That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, it just absolutely makes perfect sense to me. You know, I mean, where else would you get them, right? I mean, there's no place else you could possibly get them. Not at a zoo. No, not at an animal sanctuary. No, you wouldn't find them there. You'd find them at a donut shop. That makes perfect sense. I mean, well, how could you possibly argue that? I am beyond done at this point. Let's just finish this out before I waste any more time. Let's just get this over with.
And I open up the lid and the weasels jump out and they immediately latch onto my face and start biting me all over. Oh man, they were just going nuts. They were tearing me apart. You know, I think it was just about that time that a little ditty started going through my head. I believe it went a little something like this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, get him off me! Get him off me! Oh, get him off! Get him off! Oh, God! Oh, God! Get him off me! I ran out into the street with these flesh-eating weasels all over my face, waving my arms all around and just running like a constipated wiener dog. And as luck would have it, that's exactly when I ran into the girl of my dreams.
Oh, God, no.
Zelda. She was a calligraphy enthusiast with a slight overbite and hair the color of strained peaches. I'll never forget the very first thing she said to me. She said, "Hey, you got weasels on your face." That's when I knew it was true love. We were inseparable after that. Oh, we ate together, we bathed together, we even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. The world was our burrito. So we got married and we bought us a house and had 2 beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly. Oh, we were so very, very, very happy. Oh, yeah. But then one fateful night, Zelda said to me, she said, "Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club?"
Never.
I said, "Whoa!
Never.
Hold on now, baby. I'm just not ready for that kind of a commitment." So we broke up and I never saw her again, but that's just the way things go.
Yep.
In Albuquerque. Things really started looking up for me because about a week later, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, I got me a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even made Employee of the Month after I put out that grease fire with my face. Oh yeah, everybody was pretty jealous of me after that. I was getting a lot of attitude. Okay, like one time, I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil when I see this guy Marty trying to carry a big old sofa up the stairs all by himself. So I say to him, I say, "Hey, you want me to help you with that?" And Marty, he just rolls his eyes and goes, "No, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw." So I did. And then he gets all indignant on me. He's like, "Hey man, I was just being sarcastic." Well, that's just great. How was I supposed to know that? I'm not a mind reader, for crying out loud. Besides, now he's got a really cute nickname, Torso Boy. So what's he complaining about? Say, that reminds me of another amusing anecdote. This guy comes...
Torso Boy. That's the best you could come up with. How about Pez Dispenser? That would be a little more comedic, I think.
Crying out loud. Besides, now he's got a really cute nickname, Torso Boy.
Pez
So what's
Dispenser.
he complaining about? Say, that reminds me of another amusing anecdote. This guy comes up to me on the street and he tells me he hasn't had a bite in 3 days.
So you
well,
bet.
I knew what he meant, but just to be funny, I took a big bite out of his jugular vein. And he's yelling and screaming and bleeding all over, and I'm like, "Hey, come on, don't you get it?" But he just keeps rolling around on the sidewalk, bleeding and screaming, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" And I'm completely missing the irony of the whole situation. Man, some people just can't take a joke, you know? Anyway,
Where was I? Yeah, I knew it.
kind of lost my train of thought.
Oh, shocking.
Well, okay, anyway, I know it's kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but I guess the whole point I'm trying to make here is...
Oh, this
I hate
sauerkraut.
sauerkraut! That's all
saw
I'm really
it
trying
coming.
to say. And
I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I hate sauerkraut. I knew it. I called it. Oh, God. Hate to say it was predictable, but it was predictable.
By the way, if one day you happen to wake up and find yourself in an existential quandary, full of loathing and self-doubt and racked with the pain and isolation of your pitiful, meaningless existence, at least you can take a small bit of comfort in knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy old mixed-up universe of ours, there's still a little place called
Almost there.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, we're almost there. Well, that just happened. That's a real thing. It's out there, and we experienced it, and we can never go back, can we? We now have to live in a world where we have to understand and accept the fact that that's a real thing. We experienced it, we watched it, we heard it, and all we can do now is move forward. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. Just I don't know, man. Oh, good Lord. I need to figure out a way to recoup the brain cells that I lost watching that, listening to that, experiencing that. Whew. All right. Well, I don't have any brain power left to collect my thoughts. I really don't. Uh, painful. Painful. Um, I'll. I don't even want to discuss this. I don't even want to talk about it, but I have to. So I guess I'll see you in the review, and yeah, we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Weird Al Yankovic with Albuquerque. This was a request from Brett Parks. I really wish we could just call this a day. Can I just give this a 0.0 and just call it a day? Just 0.0, no discussion, just 0.0. Can I do that? Can't do that. I have to be objective. Just one time. Can I just not be objective? No. You're a real pal. You know that? You and I are gonna have words later. Okay. Apparently, I can't just give the score I feel like giving. I have to be objective. Okay. Fine. Looking at this objectively, taking everything into account. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 5.7. Yeah, 5.7. I don't want to give it that score. I really don't. But looking at it objectively, that's the score I'm going to give it. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. A 5.7, first things first. What does that mean? Well, a 5.7 would translate to, believe it or not, an okay scale rating, because looking at everything, taking everything into account, I think this is an okay song. It would also get 3 out of 5 stars and a C+ letter grade. So there you go, a 5.7 okay skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars and a C+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Because I don't have any other choice, unfortunately. I have to be objective. So that's how I came up with it, looking at this objectively. Okay, listen. This was absolute and complete nonsense. Probably the most nonsensical thing I've heard or seen on the channel. And I have seen some absolute nonsense on the channel before. Said Albuquerque the movie. Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? A story was told. Yeah, it sure was. The story went in a lot of different directions in the course of 11 minutes. And the thing is, about 2/3 of the way through, I started to question where this is going. I mean, I questioned where the story was going from pretty much the beginning. There was no real direction. It went this way, and then it went that way, and then it went this way, and then it went that way, and then it went back this way, and then it went around over here. You know, and about 2/3 of the way, I started to realize that, oh boy, let me guess. This whole thing started with his dislike of sauerkraut. Wouldn't that be something if we get to the ending and that's where we're going? And I really didn't want to believe it. I really didn't want to believe that we were going to go for the running gag joke. I really didn't want to believe that. I thought at first that we would be a little more intelligent than that, but then I remembered, wait a minute, hold on. Talking about Weird Al Yankovic here. This is the kind of stuff that he would absolutely pull. Sure enough, we get to the end, and the moral of the story is what? He hates sauerkraut. Had absolutely nothing to do with anything else that really happened within the course of the journey. I made the comment that this is the type of storytelling that if you have ADHD, this is going to be absolutely right up your alley, without question. You're going to love this. You're absolutely going to love it because it keeps your attention. And I will say, it kept my attention. I kept wondering, how much worse can this possibly get? Well, we found out. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I did not enjoy this. This was not fun. I could literally feel my brain cells dying one by one by one by one by one. And I know people are going, have a sense of humor. Guys, having a sense of humor has nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, the only reason I'm not just absolutely blowing up right now is because I do have a sense of humor, and I get it, I see it, but doesn't mean I like it at all. This was yeah. It was definitely something. I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I'm giving this a 5.7 is the song, the music of the song, the instrumentation, songwriting. Simple, but catchy. It was catchy, and it was pleasing to the ear. The music is single-handedly saving this from being down in... I said 0.0. I wouldn't give it a 7. I wouldn't give it a 0.0, but I would, if it wasn't for the music, I could see this being down in the 2s. Absolutely, yeah. The music single-handedly drove this up into the okays. It's the music and the songwriting that literally kept this up into the 5s. So, yeah, the story that was told was both entertaining and infuriating at the exact same time. I did not have a good time with this. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you folks. If I never heard this song again, it'll be too soon. So, yeah. And the thing is, I like Weird Al. I do. I like and respect Weird Al for what he does. And the thing is, I'm sure when he wrote this, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what he was writing. And he wrote this with that intent. He wrote that with this purpose, to be infuriating. He wanted to get a rise out of people with this. And success. He absolutely did it. So, 11 minutes I'll never get back in my life. Oh, man. Anyway, let's wrap this up before I absolutely lose my ever-loving mind. And I change my mind and put this down where I really think it belongs. We have a 5.7, which is an okay skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a C+ letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score. I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.